Peely. Peely is one of the most recognizable characters in Fortnite, and the banana-shaped skin quickly became a symbol of the game's more playful side. The character first appeared during Chapter 1, Season 8, and stood out because it looked completely different from the military and survival-style outfits that were common earlier in Fortnite's history. The Funko Pop version captures the bright yellow body and simple cartoon face almost exactly as players remember it from the game. Peely matters because it represents the moment Fortnite fully embraced absurd humor and internet culture, turning skins into mascots that fans collected both digitally and physically. Cuddle Team Leader. Cuddle Team Leader came from the early years of Fortnite and became famous for mixing a cute pink teddy bear design with a slightly unsettling expression. The skin was heavily used in promotional art, live events, and merchandise, so it naturally became one of the first Fortnite characters to receive a Funko Pop release. Unlike many realistic soldier skins, this one leaned into the colorful and chaotic personality that helped Fortnite separate itself from other Battle Royale games. The character became popular far beyond the game itself, showing up on clothing, toys, and convention displays, which made the Funko figure especially recognizable to collectors. Rex. Rex is the green dinosaur-themed skin inspired by classic inflatable dinosaur costumes and old monster movies. Released during Fortnite's early popularity boom, the outfit became known for its oversized reptile hood and bright orange details. The Funko Pop version exaggerates the cartoon proportions even more, which fits the original design perfectly. Rex matters because it represents the era when Fortnite skins started becoming less about realism and more about personality, humor, and instantly readable silhouettes that players could recognize from a distance. Dark Voyager. Dark Voyager comes from Chapter 1, Season 3, and is based on a futuristic astronaut design with glowing orange lines across a black spacesuit. The skin became popular partly because Season 3 introduced Fortnite's first strong sci-fi themes, including meteors and space mysteries that changed the game's storyline permanently. The Funko Pop version preserves the glowing visor and detailed armor while simplifying the shape into the classic Funko style. Many players still connect Dark Voyager with the beginning of Fortnite's larger evolving narrative, where seasons started telling connected stories instead of just adding cosmetics. Omega. Omega was the final Battle Pass reward in Chapter 1 Season 4 and quickly became a status symbol because players had to spend many hours unlocking all of its armor upgrades. The character's sleek black armor and glowing red lights gave it a much more serious look compared to Fortnite's sillier skins. Its Funko Pop release reflects how important Omega became during Fortnite's competitive rise in 2018, when millions of players were grinding Battle Pass levels every day. The skin still represents dedication and rarity to longtime fans who remember how difficult the final unlocks originally were. Zoey. Zoey introduced Fortnite's candy-colored and exaggerated cartoon direction during Chapter 1, Season 4. With bright green hair, pink clothing, and a design inspired by sweets and desserts, the character looked completely different from the darker military styles common in other shooter games at the time. The Funko Pop version emphasizes those oversized colors and playful shapes, making it one of the more visually distinctive Fortnite figures. Zoey helped show how Fortnite attracted younger audiences and casual players by creating skins that felt cheerful and animated instead of aggressive. Highrise Assault Trooper. Highrise Assault Trooper is one of Fortnite's earlier military-inspired skins and comes from a time before the game became heavily focused on crossovers and giant events. The design is more grounded than many later skins, using tactical gear and urban combat clothing instead of fantasy elements. The Funko Pop release gives the character a nostalgic quality because it reminds longtime players of the simpler first year of Fortnite. For many collectors, figures like this represent the original identity of the game before it expanded into a massive entertainment platform. Black Knight. Black Knight was the highest reward in Fortnite's very first Battle Pass, which immediately gave the skin legendary status among players. The dark, medieval armor and red eye slits created a design that felt intimidating without needing flashy effects. Because relatively few players completed the first Battle Pass, Black Knight became one of the earliest symbols of rarity in Fortnite culture. The Funko Pop version preserves the heavy armor and medieval look that made the character stand out during the game's earliest competitive seasons. Skull Trooper. Skull Trooper originally released during Fortnite's first Halloween event and became famous because it disappeared from the item shop for a long time afterward. The simple black suit with glowing white skeleton markings became one of the game's earliest rare skins, especially before Epic Games later re-released it. The Funko Pop figure reflects the skin's clean and recognizable design, which helped it become one of the most requested Fortnite collectibles. Skull Trooper also played a major role in establishing Fortnite's seasonal events, where holiday-themed cosmetics became huge moments for the community. Moonwalker. Moonwalker arrived during Fortnite's space-themed period and featured a clean white astronaut suit inspired by real-world lunar missions. Compared to Dark Voyager's darker futuristic style, Moonwalker looked brighter and more realistic, giving players another version of the growing space theme. The Funko Pop adaptation works especially well because the rounded astronaut helmet already matched Funko's toy-like proportions. The skin became part of a larger moment in Fortnite history, when live events and mysterious sky changes started building anticipation between seasons. Love Ranger. Love Ranger is based on a stone Cupid statue with cracked wings and glowing eyes, blending mythology with Fortnite's cartoon art style. The skin first appeared around Valentine's Day, but stood apart from typical holiday cosmetics because it looked dramatic and ancient instead of cheerful. Its Funko Pop version highlights the statue texture and wings that made the original design memorable in matches. Love Ranger became popular partly because it showed how Fortnite could turn almost any idea into a recognizable character, even mixing romance themes with battle royale gameplay. Tricera Ops. Tricera Ops continued Fortnite's dinosaur-themed collection with a costume inspired by a Triceratops. The bright blue outfit, horned hood, and cartoon proportions gave it a lighter and friendlier appearance compared to Rex. The Funko Pop figure keeps the oversized dinosaur helmet as the main focus, which helped the skin become easy to recognize in stores and online collections. Dinosaur skins became important in Fortnite because they showed how cosmetic themes could expand into full mini-sets that players mixed and matched across seasons. Burnout. Burnout is a motorcycle-themed skin with a black helmet, racing jacket, and glowing visor that gave it a sleek, urban look. Unlike fantasy or comedy-focused outfits, Burnout felt more connected to street racing, culture, and futuristic biker aesthetics. The Funko Pop version simplified the reflective helmet while keeping the aggressive stance that made the original skin popular. Burnout mattered because it reflected Fortnite's ability to borrow inspiration from many different styles without fully committing to realism. Marauder. Marauder is the gingerbread man skin that became one of Fortnite's most beloved holiday cosmetics. Released during a winter event, the character combined a festive theme with a surprisingly intimidating expression, creating a design players remembered instantly. The Funko Pop figure recreates the icing details and angry candy face that made the skin stand out in matches. Marauder helped establish Fortnite's tradition of highly anticipated holiday skins that returned every year and became part of seasonal gaming culture. Tower Recon Specialist. Tower Recon Specialist comes from Fortnite's earlier item shop lineup and uses a simpler, military-inspired design compared to later elaborate skins. While not as flashy as some legendary outfits, the character became familiar to longtime players because it represented the grounded visual style of the game's first months. The Funko Pop version gives the skin a more collectible identity, turning a relatively standard outfit into part of Fortnite's growing merchandise world. Characters like this matter because they remind players how much the game evolved visually over time. Crackshot. Crackshot is Fortnite's take on the classic Nutcracker soldier, featuring a painted wooden face and bright military uniform. Released during the holiday season, the skin balanced festive design with a slightly creepy expression that made it memorable. The Funko Pop version emphasizes the large painted eyes and toy soldier appearance that connected perfectly with Funko's collectible style. Crackshot became one of the early examples of Fortnite turning traditional holiday imagery into something uniquely tied to the game's identity. DJ Yonder. DJ Yonder is the llama-headed electronic music character inspired by rave culture and dance festivals. Introduced during Fortnite's growing focus on live music and party-style events, the skin featured metallic armor, neon lighting, and a robotic llama helmet. The Funko Pop version keeps the reflective helmet and futuristic style that made the character instantly recognizable. DJ Yonder became important because it reflected Fortnite's connection to music culture, especially as the game started hosting concerts and large entertainment events inside the virtual world.